So today we're going to be doing 13.3, which is looking at parallelograms and how to find the area of a given parallelogram. So go ahead and take your notes out, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
To decompose a shape, break it up to form other shapes. You can decompose a parallelogram to form a rectangle. Suppose you have a parallelogram with base B and height h. To decompose the parallelogram into a rectangle, cut the parallelogram along its height. Move the triangle to the other side. Then push the pieces together to form a rectangle. So you can decompose a parallelogram to form a rectangle with the same base and height as the parallelogram.
In this video, you will learn about the Building Figures mode of the 2D Geometry tool. You can use the...
We're going to skip over that. So today we're going to find the area of a parallelogram by decomposing the parallelogram into a rectangle. So to do that, I know this dotted line right here, I'm going to take that and cut it, and I'm going to take this triangle and put it right over here so that my figure is now a rectangle. If I move that over there, it's now a rectangle. So to find my answer for this, I just need to do the base times the height. My base is 10. My height is 7, so 10 times 7 is 70 inches squared.
Here we go again. This is just like those right triangles. Remember, base doesn't always refer to the bottom of the shape. Any side of the parallelogram can be a base. It all depends on the height you were given. That's the real clue. Look for the height. The height always meets the base at a right angle.
So right here, this angle right here, they're saying is my right angle. So my base and my height will intersect at that right angle.
Find the area of the parallelogram by decomposing the parallelogram into a rectangle.
So if I look for my right angle, which is right here, if this is a right angle, then that means this little area right here is also a right angle. So if I take this triangle and I put it over here, my height is going to be that 3 1/3. And my base, since I took that out and I pasted it over there, is still going to be the 7 1/4. So I need to do the wheel. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29. I get 29 over 4 times 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. I get 10 over 3. I like to look at my angles and see if anything can come out of them. Well, this is an even number, so I'm going to take 2 out of that. 2 times 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So now I need to multiply straight across. 2 times 3 is 6. And I need to figure out what 29 times 5 is. So follow along with me. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry my 4. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 4 is 14. I get 145 over 6. I now need to type this into a calculator. And I need to see, what 145 divided by 6 is. Well, I know 145 will go into 6 24 times, so my whole number then would be 24. And I need to figure out what my fraction will be. I know my denominator will be 6, because that's my denominator here. So if I do 24 times 6, I get 144. Well, 144 is 1 away from 145, so I know my answer will be 24 1/6 feet squared for this. Again, here's what they did. Decompose the parallelogram to form a right angle, or a rectangle, with the same dimensions. So they took this rectangle and they put it over to the left-hand side. Use the formula of a rectangle, base times height. So they did the wheel. They got 29 over 4 times 10 over 3. They saw that those two sides, or the two angles, both had 2 as factors, so they took that out. They got 145 over 6, which simplifies to 24 1/6. You're going to notice they put feet squared because we're dealing with area.
A base of a parallelogram is any side of the parallelogram. A height of a parallelogram is the perpendicular distance between opposite bases.
Notice that there is a right angle right here, which helps us find our base and our height.
The formula for the area of a parallelogram is A equals B times H, where A represents the area, B represents a base, and H is the corresponding height.
So, which parallelograms have an area of 16 centimeters squared? So looking at this, I would plop this over here, and this now becomes 4 times 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so I know that that does not equal 16. Looking over here, we're going to take this side of the parallelogram and flop it over here. So I have 8 and 2. Well, 8 times 2 is 16, so that will work. Here, this is a little tricky. We need to find our right angle. Not this here, because this is not where my right angle is, which means this is just kind of a tricky part. By finding my right angle, I know my base and my height. So my base is 4, my height is 4, so 4 times 4 is in fact 16. They're going to take this part of the triangle, or sorry, the parallelogram, and flop it over here to make it a rectangle. Okay, down here we have 6 times 2 2/3. Well, let's figure this out. If I have 6, that can be written as 6 over 1. And I need to times that by 2 2/3, or do the wheel. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. I get 8 over 3. 6 times 8 is 48. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, I know that 3 goes into 4 once. Bring down my 1, bring down my 8, and 3 goes into 18, it would be 6 times. So that will work. Go ahead and try these last two. Pause it and go ahead and look at this right angle right here to help you out. When you're done, go ahead and move on.
What is the area of the parallelogram?
So go ahead and look right here. Okay, that's going to help us out. So I know that it's going to be 10.2 times 6.2. So go ahead and solve that in your notes. Show all of your work. Make sure you put yard squared as your label. And you may go ahead and start your homework.